Welcome back to Miller's Construction. Today we are going to show you how to make your own butt boards for drywall. If you don't know what a butt board is, it basically helps you create a recess where two drywall panels abut each other. Not the seam, the butt, the end of the panel. Show you more at the end of this video. Show you exactly how these things work. But for now, we're in the shop. We've got a table saw set up. Here's an example of what a butt board looks like. It's flat on one side. This is the back side, it's flat. And on the top side, it is concave. Basically, those panels will fall into that concave section of that butt board, and they will create a recess. And it's so much easier to create or to finish a recess than it is to finish just a flat butt. Plus, it's straighter. So you're gonna have a hump everywhere there's a butt joint. So when you're hanging crown molding or cabinetry, it can throw you off a little bit or it can look a little bit wonky. With butt boards, everything is just flat because you've created a recess and you're filling that void with joint compound. So works really well. This is the easiest way that we found out to make them. Butt boards are not readily available in my area and they're fairly expensive as well. So what we use is 7/16 OSB, and I will show you all of the settings that you need to set your table saw on. It's very simple. You do not have to have a fancy table saw like this. We have cut butt boards many a time on the job site, on a job site table saw. So let's get right to it. Here's our sheet of OSB. Take you through the steps. All right, we're set up. Here's the key. 3 degrees, that's the key. 3-degree bevel, blade height, 2 13/16 of an inch. Set your fence to a 1/2 inch. Set your fence to a 1/2 inch. Now, it is critical that the blade is beveling towards the fence. If you have a DeWalt portable table saw, you have to put the fence on the left side of the blade because the blade bevels to the left, not to the right. So keep that in mind. All you have to do is take your fence off, put it on the left side, it'll bevel to the left. You want to bevel towards the material. So once again, for emphasis, 2 13/16 is what you set your blade height to. Width of your fence between the blade, 1/2 inch, and your bevel at 3 degrees. All right. Straight edge. See that little gap right there? That's what you want. See that gap? It does make a mess, as you can see. That's why we had the fan set up to kind of blow that dust away from the operator, whoever's making the rips. So here we are on the job site. Let me explain this a little bit. This ceiling has a lot of waves in it, and we didn't want to tear the ceiling down and lose all that insulation, but there was no way that we could hang drywall on such a wavy ceiling, so we decided to lathe it. So don't pay any attention to that, but it is important to know that by doing it this way, we also created an air gap, and that's important when using butt boards. So if I'm speaking to individuals who have possibly never used butt boards before. In a retrofit application, you know, if you're overlaying the ceiling, this is the only way to do it, because if you're just smashing the drywall against other drywall, obviously there's not a void to put this in. But these work really well on new construction, and if you're tearing out the walls, something like that. So what's key though is we've landed just about the center of this cavity right here. Now it's time to install the butt board. I don't have a ton of room to fit my hands in, but it's also important to know we did cut this a little longer. So this is over 4 foot. This is 54 inches, somewhere thereabouts. So we're gonna stick it back in there to where we've got about 3 inches hanging over on the outside, and we've got about 3 inches hanging over on the inside, so it'll catch on this drywall and it'll catch on the next piece of drywall. I've got to have a flat bar to get in there to get started. This might be difficult. There we go, right there. So now I can get in the center. Right here's my center. I can see my center line, so I can hold down with that flat bar. Boom, I've started. Now I need to come down here to this other end, center it up. It is centered. Hold down. There we go, got it held. There's your flat bar. Now I can take off. That might seem like a lot of screws, but when you've got a collated attachment, it's not that big a deal. I like to absolutely stitch. I like to stitch that butt board to the drywall. It just works better that way. Now this one I need to take out. That one, I hit a void or something. Here we are. All right, Kay's gonna put up the next piece here. He's gonna hold it up for us. Here we are. Now he's gonna bring it tight to that butt board. There you go. Yep. Oh, there you go, right there, okay. This is all in my way. Okay, you good down here?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, you can come down. All this stuff in the way, I'm probably gonna have to hand screw some of that up there, but I want to put at least 4 screws right here. There we go. Really need to put some in here. There we go. I'll put some more here in a minute. Okay, time to stitch this side. So there's your finished product. We'll take a T-square and let's just pick the middle here. You see what we got going on there? Now we have a recess, and it's going to be much easier to mud, but we also don't have to worry about humps. Here's another one. Nice recess all down through there, and we don't have to worry about a big hump. For instance, there's going to be a wide crown molding. Typically, there would be maybe a little hump right here. Now, because we're going to fill that with joint compound, it should just be flat and continuous all the way across. Why does that matter? In long runs of crown molding, you'll be able to see it. So for instance, if you were coming down that hallway and let's just say there was a butt joint on this wall, you would be able to see it. let's just say this was a butt joint right here, you'd be able to see that crown make just a slight dip on long runs like that. Or even from, you know, this side, looking all the way across, you could potentially see it, but yeah, these butt boards are the way to go. That's how I do them. I really stitch the screws to them. But that's how you make your own butt boards. It's very simple. We're just cutting them to length as we need them. We're cutting them to approximately, what was it, Kay? 52 inches, 54 inches is what we're cutting these to. And then the leftover scraps, we're just piecing them together. So we don't need it necessarily to be continuous, but what we do want is we want a 3-inch overhang to catch our next sheet of drywall. That gives it a little extra strength, helps it out some, works out really well. So thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. Like, subscribe, comment down below if you've ever used butt boards before, and we'll catch you on the next one.